Hi, fifth grade math. Welcome back to class. So we are doing page 102 today. So you should have out page 102. If you don't have that and a pencil, go and get that right now. Pause your video, grab that really quickly. Okay, at the very top of your page is review. It says multiply and check by casting out nines. So you have three-digit division, multiplication problems. You need to multiply those, and then you need to check them by casting out nines. I'm not sure if Miss Jessica has taught you casting out nines or not. I couldn't remember. So if you do not know how to cast out by nines, or if you don't feel confident casting out by nines right now, then check the other way. The other way to check is by flipping your factors. For example, letter A is 473 times 146. After you multiply it, to check it, you put 146 on top and multiply 146 by 473. Okay, number 5, we're gonna do the first 3 together, A, B, and C. You are converting. Woohoo, did you miss these? So your conversions are done this way. This should be the same way that Miss Jessica does it. I might use slightly different wording, but it's the same basic idea. So letter A is 4 weeks equals how many days? Well, to figure that out, we have to set up our unit multipliers. I start with what I already know, 4 weeks. Then I make a fraction. And I put the days, what I'm going to, on top. I'm going to days. Then I put the unit that I'm changing from on the bottom. I'm changing from weeks to days, so weeks goes on the bottom. Okay? Now I write my conversion factor. So I'm going to write how weeks and days are related. How are weeks and days related? Well, there are 7 days in 1 week. That's how they're related. Then I multiply it like a fraction. 4 times 7 is 28. My weeks cancel out, and I'm left with 28 days. Remember, anything divided by 1 is itself, so I don't have to worry about that 1 on the bottom. So 4 weeks is 28 days. All right, let's try letter B. 90 years is how many decades? So I know that I'm going to start with 90 years. I'm going 2 decades from years. Now what's my conversion factor? How many years are in a decade? 10, very good. There are 10 years in 1 decade. 10 years in 1 decade. Excuse me. So when my number is on the bottom, instead of multiplying, I'll just divide. 90 divided by 10. What is 90 divided by 10? 9, very good. So I have my years cancel out, and I have 9 decades. All right, let's do letter C. 48 quarts is how many pecks? Well, I start with 48 quarts. I know that I'm changing 2 pecks from quarts. How many quarts are in a peck? This is the tricky one. How many quarts are in a peck? Well, in 1 peck, I have 8 quarts. Since my number is on the bottom, I'm going to divide. 48 divided by 8 is 6. So 48 quarts is 6 pecks. All right, you're gonna do letters D and E on your own. D is 19 pounds equals how many ounces? Don't forget your conversion factor there, 16 ounces in a pound. Letter E, 25 years equals how many months? Don't forget your conversion factor for years to months. All right, number 6 says, mark under the proper fractions. Mark under the proper fractions. Okay, a proper fraction, remember, that's when the numerator, the number up top, is smaller than the denominator, the number on the bottom. Any fraction like that is a proper fraction. If the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom, then it's an improper fraction, okay? So let's look at a couple together. We're gonna look at the first 4. 1/2. Is the number on top smaller or larger than the number on the bottom? It's smaller, so that makes it a proper fraction, color in the bubble. 3/2. Is the number on top smaller or larger? Smaller, so it's not a proper fraction, so don't do anything with that one. 4/7. Well, 4 is smaller than 7, so that one's proper, color in the bubble. And the last one is 3/9. Well, 3 is smaller than 9, so that makes it a proper fraction, and you can color it in. All right, let's move on to exercise 7. Okay, in between videos, guys, I just got a message from Miss Jessica, and she confirmed not to do the casting out 9s. So for number 4, where it says multiply and check by casting out 9s, just check the normal way, don't cast out 9s. Okay? All right. Moving on. Number 7, add or subtract your fractions. We're just gonna do 4 of these together, okay? You have, I think, 9. So we'll do 4 together, you'll do 5 on your own. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need any help, if you need me to send a video explaining anything else, let me know and I can do that for you. But we're gonna do 4 together, so let's get started. 89 1/2, 43 2/3, plus 16 5/6. Well, remember, whenever you add or subtract with fractions, you gotta make sure your denominators are indeed the same. So I have 2, 3, and 6. I need to change these so they have a common denominator. What would be the least common denominator of 2, 3, and 6? Well, the easiest way, the fastest way to find it is to look at your largest denominator, which is 6, and check its multiples with each of your other ones. Well, the first multiple of 6 is 6. Is 6 a multiple of 3? Yeah, it is. Is it a multiple of 2? Again, yes. So, since it's a multiple of all of them, it would be the least common multiple, therefore the least common divisor. So, all of my new denominators, or least common denominator, not least common divisor, sorry. All of my new denominators are now 6. This fraction didn't change because the denominator didn't change, but this one does. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So my new numerator is 4. Here, 6 divided by 3 is 2. Or 6 divided by 2 is 3. Let me try that again. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Now I can add my fractions because I have the same denominator. 3 plus 4 is 7. Plus 5 is 12. Denominator stays the same, does not change. 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 6 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Now I'm not done. I always have to check my fraction to see if it's an improper fraction, it needs to be changed into a mixed number, if it needs to be reduced, or anything like that. Well, here I have an improper fraction, 12 over 6. What's 12 divided by 6? 2, right? So 12 divided by 6 is 2. I need to add this 2 now to the number I already had. So 148 plus 2 equals 150. So that is your final answer. All right, now let's go on to, excuse me, letter D. Letter D, excuse me. I have 3/5 and 7/30 as my fraction. They don't have the same denominator, so I have to bring everything over and find the common denominator. I'm going to bring over my 908 too, even though it doesn't have a fraction, just so I don't forget it. All right. Like I said, let's start with the biggest denominator. My biggest denominator is 30. The very first multiple of 30 is 30. Is 30 a multiple of 5? Sure it is, because 5 times 6 is 30. So that would be my least common denominator. So my bottom fraction doesn't change because my denominator didn't change. But my top fraction does. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18, so that's my new numerator. Now I can add them. 18 plus 7 is 25 over 30. Now I add my whole numbers. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 7 is 17. So I have 1,782 and 25 thirtieths. But wait, I need to check and see if I can reduce. 25 and 30, do they have any common factors? Yes, they do, 5. So I divide 25 by 5, that gives me 5. I divide 30 by 5, and that gives me 6. So my new fraction is 5/6, and that makes my final answer 1,782 and 5/6. All right, let's do our subtraction problem. Excuse me while I get a message. There we go. All right. Letter E is 9 1/5 minus 5 7/10. Again, I'm going to start by making sure I have a common denominator. What would be the least common denominator for 5 and 10? Oops, I filled it in on the board for you. Well, that was an easy one, gave it to you. Your least common denominator is 10. All right, this one stays the same because the denominator didn't change. Here, I divide. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I can't subtract because 7 is greater than 2. So I have to borrow from my 9. Leaves me with 8 and 10 over 10 because my denominators need to match and my numerator and denominator have to be the same in what I borrow. So my 9 changed to an 8. I add my 10 tenths to my 2 tenths to give me 12 tenths. And my bottom number does not change. Now we subtract. 12 minus 7 is 5. Denominator stays the same at 10. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now I check my fraction. Can I reduce? Yes, I can. What's the greatest common factor of 5 and 10? 5. So this equals 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 3 1/2 is your final answer. All right, let's do F, and then you're going to finish the page on your own. 23 7/11 minus 19 and 22 over 33. First, I'm going to change it so that they have the same denominator. What would be the least common denominator for 11 and 33? Well, 33 is the first multiple of 33. Is it also a multiple of 11? Yes, because if I multiply 11 times 3, I get 33. My bottom fraction doesn't change because my denominator didn't change. But my top fraction, the denominator did, so my numerator needs to change. 33 divided by 11 is 3, times 7 is 21, very good. Now, it's just barely smaller on the top, but it is smaller on the top than the bottom, so I need to borrow. This becomes 22 and 33 over 33. So now I have 22, add my fractions, 3 plus 1 is 4, 3 plus 2 is 5. So I have 54 over 33 minus 19 and 22 over 33. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and subtract. So let me check on one thing. Oops, I made a slight mistake. Sorry guys. This shouldn't be 22, this should be 32. Let me change that here. This is 32. All right, now I can carry on. Okay, 54 minus 32. 4 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. My denominator stays 33. 22 minus 9 is 3. Can I reduce my fraction? Yes, I can. Their greatest common factor is 11. So, my whole number doesn't change. 22 divided by 11 is 2. 33 divided by 11 is 3. And that's your final answer. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions or if you need any extra help. I'm here for whatever you need. All right? Have a wonderful day.